Hello guys. But then Wesley climbed down and I could hear him dragging his big back up to the top of the stair. Then he rolled down the stair and crashed at the bottom again, followed by more tears. I am not exaggerating when I tell you this went on for an hour and a half. I thought Wesley would wear himself out, but he never. Hello guys. But then Wesley climbed down and I could hear him dragging his big back up to the top of the stair. Then he rolled down the stair and crashed at the bottom again, followed by more tears. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you this went on for an hour and a half. I thought Wesley would wear himself out, but he never did. I remember that the striker said they qualified the babysitter for Wesley, and now that was starting to make a lot of sense. I figured I was gonna have to punish Wesley for locking me in the laundry room once I got out of there. What they deserved was a good spanking, but I figured that probably wouldn't fly with the strikers. I decided I'd give Wesley a time out because that's what my parents always did when I misbehaving as a little kid. In fact, when I was little, it got me out from Roderick. The thing is, I had no idea Roderick didn't actually have the authority to give me a time out, and I can't tell you how many hours I liked in that time out chair when Roderick was babysitting me. On time, I was throwing a ball in the house while I was home along with Roderick, and I accidentally knocked over the meeting photo of mom and dad. Roderick gave me a half-hour time out for the when mom and dad got home, they saw a broken picture and asked which one of us had done it. I told them it was me, but that they didn't need to give me punishment because I'd already got a timeout from Roderick. But mom said the only people who could hand out punishment were her and dad. So I ended up serving a double time out for breaking that picture. I figured Wesley deserved and triple time out for locking me in the laundry room. But it was getting pretty late and I knew it would like bad enough. Strain came back home and I was still locked inside, so I started looking for another way out. There was a spare freezer blocking a door to the black deck, so I punished with me all my might and gave myself just enough room to squeeze through and open the door. It was really cold outside and I was only wearing a t-shirt and jeans. I tried to open the front door, but it was locked. I decided if I was gonna catch this kind of guard, I'd need the element of surprise. So I walked around the house and through all the windows on the ground floor until I found out that was unlocked and then punished it open the crawl inside. I landed, hit first in some bedroom, and after I looked around, I realized it must be Laura. Like I said, it was freezing cold outside, so I need to warm up before going after Wesley, but I really regret taking a few minutes to do that, because during the time I was in Laura's room, Mr. and Mrs. Ryan came home. Hopefully, we can all of the good chuckle about this story at some future Thanksgiving too, but I think it's gonna be a while before Mr. Strain is ready to laugh about this on Wednesday. After blowing my chance with Laura Strain, I pretty much give give up on finding someone to care to dance. It's only 3 days away, and by now everyone who is queen is really paired out with someone else. So I figured I'd be spending Saturday night at home playing video games by myself. But yesterday really gave me some new news after one of these dance committee meeting that changed everything. He said Elvia Brown was upset during the meeting because the boy she was going with, Michael Sampson, has a family obligation and had to cancel on her, so now Abigail has a dress and no one to go to the dance with. So the stage is set for me up in and the hero. I thought really this was this big chance to come through as my wingman and hook me up with Abigail. The since Abigail doesn't already know me and I kind of doubled. She's the go to the dance with a person she doesn't know, so I told Rolly should tell Ablija there of us could go to the dance together as a group of friends. Rolly seems to like that idea because he's been doing all these work on the dance committee and didn't have an eye to go at with either. I figured the three of us could go out to dinner, and at the restaurant Abigail would get to the what a great guy I was. By the time we got the dance, we'd walk in as a couple. The only problem was that we'd need a ride. I wasn't about to ask mom for one because the seats in our minivan are crashed with old cherries and God knows what else. Plus, having mom align my dad could be a total disaster. I knew if I really wanted to impress Abilica, I didn't rent a limo, but those things cost a fortune. Then I had an idea. Rolly Dad has a real nice car, so I figured it was cool get him to drive us. Abilica wouldn't even have to know Mr. Jefferson was Rolly Dad. If he didn't say anything, she just thinks he was a professional driver. Maybe I'll even get him out of those hats. Force words to really sell the idea. Of course, we wouldn't be able to say anything. The Mr. Jefferson is there. Me and him kind of have had a story, and I'm sure he wouldn't looking to do me an extra favor. Things started falling into place today, really talking, and she likes the whole groups of friends idea, and on top of that, Mr. Jefferson agreed to drive us to the dance. So now I'm keeping my fingers crossed that nothing will happen between now and Saturday night to screw things up. Friday, I told Uncle cry about the dance, and he seems even more excited about it than I am. He wanted to know all the details, like now how many people were gonna be better and if they hired a DJ, but I didn't know I answered his question because really the unauthorized dance committee and that stuff is kind of in this department. I was more focused on folding something to wear. Uncle Cry told me if I really want to impress my date, I should wear a suit I want in Roderick coat and found a statue that he's actually wore to honor Uncle Cry wedding. I couldn't find any cloak in Roderick John drawer, but I did find in the bottle of that body's parade are always advertising on TV. I was a little nervous about using it so because it that stuff really works like they say in the ad. Then tomorrow night could be a nightmare. My great uncle Brooks passed away a few years ago, and I knew we had a box with some of his personal stuff in the garage. I found a bottle of his colleague had tried a little on my rice. It made me smell exactly like great Uncle Bro, but I figure it is safer than using that body spray. I even asked that to take me to the gorgeous store where I brought a box of those volunteer chocolate for Abigail. I never should have taken the telephone off the box, so because I've already helped myself to the butter, cream, peanut, custard, and caramels. Hopefully Abigail liked the coconut chocolate and on of the taste. Saturday. Tonight was the night of the big volunteer day dance. It got off to the really rough start. When I went over the roller house to get ready, I noticed he had little red bumps on his face that looked like mosquito bites. But then I realized what his spots were chicken bugs. Ever since Evan Biden showed up at a school with chicken bugs a few weeks ago, it's been supposedly wildfire in my class. This past week, 4 boys were sent home by the school nurse. I'm pretty sure one of those guys was the Mad Panthers because they haven't been any painting inside and science Tuesday. I've heard chicken books is super contagious and whenever a kid gets it they are not allowed to come back to school for a week. But I couldn't afford to have rolled out of communication for even a night. He was my ride to the dance and I knew that if his mom and dad didn't let him go, then I couldn't go either. I told Rolly he had the chicken box, but I probably should have broken the news to him slowly inside of at once. Rolly was gonna go straight to the star and tell his parents, but I told him to calm down and we'd figure his out together. I thought if he couldn't just get through his night without telling anyone, I would own him for the rest of my life. All he needed to do was cover up his chicken box and not make a big stink to his parents. We'd both go to the dance and have a great time. None would even had to know, but Rolly was to freak out and sing story, and I had to give him 2 coconut chocolate to keep him down. None that Rolly knew he had the chicken pox. He was going crazy with the itching, so I got some sock out of his dress and put them on his hands. I figure Rolly mom and dad probably knew what chicken pox looked like, and we had to find a way to cover them up. So we went into his parents' bedroom and looked through his mom's makeup kit to see if there was anything we called us. I found some stuff called concealer, and that sounds about right, Naomi. I used the little brush I found in the drawer and then tried to cover up the problem area and really fast. But you could totally tell that you really was wearing makeup, so I grabbed a skull scarf from the top of Mr. Jefferson's dress and to the rolly to put it on and cover up around his mouth. Then I noticed he had a few chicken pox on his forehead, so I found a bitch hat in his mom's clothes and had him put that on too. I'm not gonna say Rolly looked totally normal, but at least you couldn't tell he had the chicken pox. I kind of held my breath when we got into the car, but I see Mr. Jefferson just saw Rolly gets up was some kind of middle school fashion things, and he didn't say a word. When I opened the back door to get in, I was pretty surprised to find Rolly's old passenger seat taking on of the spots. I asked Rolly why he still had the passenger seat in his dad's car, and he said they just never